Did Jesus and Mary Magdalene have a secret love affair? For centuries, people have speculated about a romantic relationship between Jesus and Mary Magdalene. In this video, we'll look at the evidence for and against the idea that they were lovers and explore why this theory persists. So stay tuned. The idea that Jesus and Mary Magdalene were lovers is a controversial one. Some believe that the two had a romantic relationship, while others argue that there is no evidence to support this claim. This theory is based on a number of biblical passages that seem to indicate that Mary Magdalene had a special place in Jesus' heart. For example, in the Gospel of John, Mary Magdalene is the first person to whom Jesus reveals his resurrection. Some have interpreted this close relationship as evidence of a deeper connection between the two. However, others argue that this passage can be interpreted in other ways and that there is no concrete proof of a romantic relationship. One of the most compelling evidence for this theory comes from the Gospel of Philip, which is not included in the Bible. In this text, Mary Magdalene is referred to as the companion of Jesus, and there are several references to a kiss between the two. However, it's important to note that the authenticity of the Gospel of Philip has been questioned by some scholars. And even if it is an authentic gospel, it was written many years after the death of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Therefore, it may not provide an accurate account of their relationship. Another piece of evidence that has fueled speculation about a romantic relationship between Jesus and Mary Magdalene is the fact that Jesus allowed her to touch him when no one else was allowed to. In the Gospel of Luke, it is recorded that Jesus allowed Mary Magdalene to anoint him with perfume and wipe his feet with her hair. This may seem like a small detail, but in the context of the time period, it was highly unusual for a woman to touch a man who was not her husband or father. Therefore, some have interpreted this action as a sign of the deep bond that Jesus and Mary Magdalene shared. However, this interpretation is challenged by the fact that the same passage also mentions that many women who had been healed by Jesus followed him, and this could suggest that Jesus' acceptance of Mary Magdalene's touch was not out of the ordinary. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the idea that Jesus and Mary Magdalene were lovers has persisted throughout history. One reason for this is that people want to believe that Jesus had a personal relationship with someone. This makes him more relatable and human in our eyes. Another reason is that the idea of a secret love affair is simply a compelling one. It creates drama and intrigue, and people are naturally curious about the relationship between Jesus and Mary Magdalene. However, it is important to remember that the Bible does not provide any clear evidence of a romantic relationship between them. While some passages may suggest a close bond, they can also be interpreted in other ways. Ultimately, the question of whether or not Jesus and Mary Magdalene were lovers is one that each individual must answer for themselves. There is no right or wrong answer, and people's beliefs on the matter will vary. What do you think? Was there a secret love between Jesus and Mary Magdalene, or was there something more? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.